I also never know if I'm supposed to record to the cloud or to my computer, but I just wing it
I
every
always do to
time.
my computer, and that just seems to work. It's easier to find. I don't know. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, Lisa, but that's what I do. And then once I have it on YouTube, like it's gone. Like I
Yeah,
take it off
same.
my computer. Yeah, I don't keep it on there.
It's been working, so we're just gonna roll with it. But okay, you guys, I'm so happy that you are hopping on with us this Sunday and spending some time with us. Me and Riley are going to talk a little bit more about just distributors and all things on how to enroll distributors. I want to start off by saying, and then we'll go into Riley and like all of her tips and tricks and where she's getting all her distributors and all that stuff. But I want to start with just letting you guys know that I feel like it's very easy to look at people who are enrolling distributors and think like, oh my gosh, I wish I could do that, or I just don't have what it takes, or I don't know, no one's going to want to join me. No one wants to earn extra money. No one wants this, no one wants that, right? I feel like that's something very normal for a lot of us to think. It was something that I thought, which is why I never offered the distributor part of the business for 3 months. My first 3 months in this business, I was just selling reps and enrolling customers, and that was it. So I feel like it's very normal to come at it from that side, but I want you to know that that could be probably one of the biggest things that's shooting you in your foot is that mindset of, oh, that's amazing, but I just can't do that. Or that's so good for them, but I just don't have anybody that will want to join me. Because I'm going to tell you one thing on the months where I've enrolled, when I went from diamond to double, I did it in 27 days. Promoted to diamond 27 days later, I went double. I had to build a whole emerald by myself. Like when you hear us tell you, like you could go diamond by yourself, it's going to be tough, but you can do it. I did that. And so when I went double, I had to build an emerald. I had to build an executive to an emerald, and I enrolled 27 distributors that month. And the only thing that changed from that month, and even the month that I went triple, I think the month that I went triple, I enrolled 24. The only thing that changed was my mindset, my belief that I was going to do it. And it might not happen this month. Like it might take me 2 months to go triple or 3 months to go triple, but it was my mindset. And the other thing was my intentions. So like every single day my intentions were focused on distributors. So that meant like when you're focusing on something, right, you start to notice. It's kind of like when you buy a car and you start noticing your car everywhere. Well, when you have that intention that you're going to go diamond or you're going to go ruby, you start to look for opportunities to offer the business. And that's literally just the difference between starting your month off and not having your steps to success in front of you, not having your map for whatever promotion you're going for, whatever promotion your team is going for. If you don't have that in front of you, where are your intentions at? Like you don't really have any, right? You're just shooting off in the dark. You're like, okay, well, I'm gonna post this and we'll see what happens, versus like going into the month, like, okay, the goal is to go ruby. So that means I need X amount of distributors, or that means I need X amount of customers. So your intentions always have to be there. And that's literally the only difference from when I enroll 27 distributors in 1 month. Same exact thing when I enroll zero in 1 month. And that's how I know that, like, even though you think, oh, I've never enrolled a distributor before, I don't think I could do this. There's been months where I've enrolled zero, but my intentions were also zero. So all you have to do is change those intentions, and all you have to do is watch what you're feeding yourself. Like watch what you're thinking, watch the thoughts that are happening in your head, even if you're not saying them out loud. It's crazy how our thoughts and our mind has so much control over the things that happen in our life. So I know that it's totally normal to have. I'm sure Riley will tell you about her like self-limiting beliefs when it comes to growing her team and like all the things that we go through as leaders. Even now, I feel like people think like once you get to a certain promotion, all those self-limiting beliefs and all the negativity just like disappears and doesn't ever come back. Let me tell you, I probably have more self-limiting beliefs trying to go presidential as I did trying to go double, because you take on even more of a load, right? You have more of a team that you're trying to grow. You have just more of everything. You need more customers, you need, more hours, you need more hosts to post, you need more of everything that it takes to grow this business. So is your self-limiting beliefs, or like the negativity that comes into play when it comes to promoting or just signing one customer or signing one distributor. That stuff doesn't go away. So I want you to get ahead of it and just know that this is something that you're always going to have to work towards. You're always going to have to work towards, you know, your intentions for the day, your intentions for the week, your intentions for the month, your intentions for your team. Like, what are you giving them for the week to start off with? Are you showing up as a leader? And then sometimes you kind of just got to make sure that, like, not only are you helping them get to where you are, you also have to make sure that you're doing what it takes to grow your business. And that's where distributors come into play. Because I know that, like, we always talk about loyal customers, and loyal customers are great, but there's one thing that's even better than loyal customers, and it's distributors. Because then not only is it just you building that volume, it's you and Riley. And then not only is it you and Riley, but then it's you, Riley, the 2 people that she enrolled, and the 2 more people that you enrolled this month. And that's how it starts to snowball. When people look at these charts and they're like, okay, well, that's 10 people. How in the world am I ever going to find 10 people? Well, if you start to focus on distributors, it won't just be you focusing on all those 10. And 10 can happen very quickly, like very, very quickly. So loyal customers are important, yes, but distributors are so important, especially when it comes to wanting to make this a full-time gig. Like, you can make great money enrolling loyal customers and just banking off of those loyal customers, but when it comes to these big ranks and these big, you know, paychecks that, you know, bring people home from corporate America, it's team building. And this is something that's just, it's never going to go away. This is how our business runs. So this is something that we kind of got to just like put on our boots and like just run and go for it. Okay. Another thing, I want to tell you just a little bit about like my journey. And I feel like I touched on self-limiting beliefs before. And I feel like that's just something that we kind of got to get used to, because it's never going to go away. But this is also why self-development is so important. And anybody who has ever promoted in this business to diamond and above will tell you the same exact thing. And it sounds so like cliche. Like, I remember hearing like self-development. I'm like, that sounds so corny. Like, how does this book help me do anything? Like, it doesn't. It actually takes time away from me messaging people or me sending friend requests and growing my network. But in all actuality, this business, I want to say, they say 80-20. This business is 80% mindset and 20% of like the things that you actually do, right? And it is so, 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 so true. So true. You don't have to be a good, you know, I feel like everybody just froze. Can you guys see me? Yeah? Okay. It says my connection is unstable, which is scary. But okay, I'm going to get off me for a second just because I don't know what's going on with my Wi-Fi. But Riley, if you want to introduce yourself and go over your story really quickly, and then we can dive into the good stuff.
Okay, sounds good. Hey guys, I'm Riley. I wanted to share a little bit of a different part of my story that I've not really shared. And I was telling both Sarah and Lisa, I'm like, I feel like personally, I've been going through a season of like growing since this is my 3rd year in the business. And I didn't really know what that looked like, but a lot of it is like how I want to brand myself. And then realizing that like so much of what I thought my life would look like is actually happening in a different way that I thought it would happen. So whenever I started 3 years ago, it was right at the same time that I was actually starting my master's for healthcare administration. Because what I thought I would do after college is get my master's and then work somewhere in HR or work at a hospital and work my way up to being like a CEO of a hospital. Like that's, I would like interview, like I had a class in college and I interviewed like an HR lady at a hospital. And I really thought that's what I was going to do. And then it just didn't feel like what I wanted to do. So I don't even think I was a month into the program and I just stopped. I was like, I can't do this. Like, I feel suffocated and I feel like I'm doing this because I have to. And at the same exact time that that was happening was when I joined the business. And I just realized like, oh my gosh, like I could run with this business and I feel like that's where my leadership comes in, and that's where like distributors, like that's where it all ties together for me. And that's what I really like is training, like the training part of distributors. But yeah, so we can kind of go into that. But that's like the shortened version of my story.
Well, I think what like you were referring to is like how you thought your other job was going to, I don't want to say was going to be more fulfilling, but like you thought it would be different in like how you're guiding people versus like in this business. I don't know any other business that where your success is solely relying on how successful you help other people become, right? Because at the
Yep.
salon it didn't work like that. Like if I had clients in my chair and so didn't, it's not like she was going to help me anymore. She'd be like, well, no, you're full. Like I'm not going to help you. Why would I help you? You know what I mean? But in this business, we literally can only go as far as we help other people go, which is I think it's unlike any other business in this entire world. Most businesses don't work like that. Like there's only one person getting to the top and it's you or the other person. And in this business, it could be everybody, which I love.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I know that you are really good at enrolling distributors, which is exciting. And I also know that me and you do it very differently, which I also love because I feel like there's so many different people who I pull stuff from, like who help me, enroll customers and who help me like enroll distributors and posting and all that stuff, right? So I feel like when people offer different things and it's not just like, oh, me and Riley solely do host to post, we don't do anything else. It's great, but also not host to post isn't going to work for every single person. That's a lie. I feel like host to post will work for everybody, but you know what I mean? Like attraction marketing might not work for every single person. Yeah. Host to post works for everybody. I don't care what anybody says, but like attraction marketing or reels or stories might not work for everybody, but I love that like ours is kind of different. So I want you to tell us, what do you think is just the main way that you get distributors?
So I am mostly on Facebook is where I've signed distributors. I've signed a couple from TikTok because of just some random different business videos. But mostly Facebook. Oh, just tipped over. And what I think most of my distributors start out as customers, and what I like to focus on is like customer retention. And then I always like put the plug in there for the business, because that's how I started. And that's kind of what aligns with me is I started as a customer. I knew the products were great. I loved them. I didn't have to like sell the products after I sold the business type thing. Like I knew I loved the products and I was a customer for I think like 1 or 2 years. And then I was actually asked to join the business for 2 years straight. And so that's why it's like just longevity of like asking and knowing that people go through different seasons of life. It's just like, maybe, yeah, they say no now, but down the line, something changes. They know the opportunity's there. And I just, in between the asking and in between asking them to do a host to post for me, I'm just creating that relationship on social media, and they're complete strangers. So that's the only way I can do it is commenting on their stuff and leaving genuine comments. Or just today earlier, I just sent out some messages and said, hey, so-and-so, happy Sunday. And nothing about like following up or placing orders, just happy Sunday. Like I think back to like when I went diamond, and I just am friendly. Like I just try to be a genuine person, or just ask like, hey, how's it going? Because I feel like people don't get asked that anymore. Just how are you? How was your day? Sometimes it feels like life is just so fast forward and so busy all the time that I feel like that sets me apart from other people or other people in other businesses. And I feel like that's kind of my niche to like finding distributors on Facebook, I would say.
There we go. So pretty much what you're saying is just building relationships, like building relationships with your social media. One question. Yep. Most of your distributors are complete strangers?
Yes.
Okay, same. And I just want to say that because I feel like some people will automatically turn themselves off from like enrolling distributors if their sister, the only person they ask is their sister, and their sister said no. They're like, well, if my sister doesn't want to do it, that's it. Like, I'm never going to be able to enroll a distributor. I haven't enrolled someone that I've known like personally in years, you guys, years. The first distributor that I ever enrolled was a wife of my husband's coworker. Didn't know her at all. But Bree, yes. She prefers working with strangers. So do I. I feel like that saying that like you should never go into business with your family. I'm just saying, like,
Oh, nope, I couldn't do it.
it'll save you a lot of unnecessary drama. I'm just kidding. I know people have like their sisters and they're doing amazing in this business, but I didn't have any like friends or family join me in this business. It was all acquaintances and then complete strangers, literally complete strangers. And then when I first joined this business too, I had about 120 friends on Facebook and like 30 on Instagram, and I didn't even get on Instagram. So doesn't matter how many people you know, it just matters how many people you're willing to build relationships with, like Riley said. Like, she's just very personable. She is making sure that she's making those connections. Like, no one wants to, like, when we talk about like making those connections, no one wants to send out a whole bunch of friend requests, or like you don't want to get a friend request and then immediately get that message like, hey girlfriend, I don't know what you do for a living, blah blah blah. Like, don't get me wrong, I send out messages when it comes to distributors, but there's a way that like you can go about it. Like Riley said, a simple, hey, how's your day? Interacting on stories is another one that I do too. I feel like any way that I can get into people's inboxes, and when I'm in their inbox, you cannot imagine how many times someone will ask me a question about the business and they have never asked me anything ever before, but it came from me commenting on a story, or me wishing their kid a happy birthday, or me wishing them a happy anniversary if that's the picture that they posted. It's just, I try to get into as many people's inboxes as possible. Make sure I didn't miss anything. And then, okay, Riley. So I know that you are a diamond, right? But when you first started this business, when did you enroll your first distributor? And what do you think it was that helped you enroll that distributor and like continue to enroll distributors?
Oh gosh, I had to have enrolled my first distributor within my first 3 months. Like it's such a blur because I was like, okay, tell me what to do. And I'm such a red. It's like, give me the tasks and I'll like do it times 10. And so, yeah, I can't even remember. I think my first distributors, I just straight up asked them. Like I just straight up asked them in Messenger. Same way I'm doing now. But I think a lot more now, it's like customers turning into distributors for the most part. I do get lucky and sign from a host to post on a first conversation. Like I just signed a gal the other day. But a lot of it is from LCs, like just, and I think it's always been that way. Yeah.
And okay, so Riley's is mainly from loyal customers, you guys. My distributors, most of the time, I enrolled one day before yesterday. She's never tried a single product ever in her life, and she signed. Most of my distributors that I sign have never tried a single thing ever. So I want you to know too that like there's no right or wrong way to work this business. There's just working this business. Like, and you will enroll distributors as well as customers. And two, sometimes I have enrolled distributors and they end up being a customer. And I will always tell them, like, I feel like you would probably benefit more as a customer because we need customers too, right? There's no reason to sign someone if they aren't doing anything in this business, but the only thing they want to do is order product. If their year is coming up and their account's about to cancel, I will tell them like maybe you should just be a customer until you figure out if this is something that you want to continue doing. But there's no like right or wrong way to work this business. There's reaching out to complete strangers and offering them the opportunity, or I don't even want to say complete strangers, because if you're friends with me on Facebook, you're not a stranger, you're my friend, and I'm going to message you, right? So like there's no rhyme or reason as to like how I pick who I message, if that makes sense. But a lot of my people are not customers. They've never tried a single thing. I tried the wrap. I tried 2 wraps actually before I joined. So I loved our product before, but I also want you to know that like you don't have to try every single product, or you don't have to be in love with I'm not in love with every single product. I mean, I kind of am. I have a lot of product, but like I'm not in love. I don't talk about every single product every single day. I have like my few that I talk about every single day, and then I go from there. But same thing with the distributor side. I feel like people think that they have to have this huge elaborate story. Like once I go diamond, or once I go ruby, or once I go executive, like then I'll be legit enough that where I won't have that fear to offer the opportunity to people. No, I guarantee you, when you go ruby, you're still going to be scared. When you go emerald, you're still going to be scared. When you go ambassador, you're still going to be scared. Like it's still going to be something uncomfortable that you have to continue to push yourself to do. It just is. I remember thinking to myself, like, I'll start offering the business to people when I go ruby, because then I'll be like so legit, and then I'll have like so much like street cred. Like I'm a ruby. Like, what do you mean you don't want to join me? Like I'm making $500 extra a month. What the heck's wrong with you? Like, why wouldn't you want to do this? I went ruby. I was still scared. And then, you kind of like, you let that little negativity speak out again, and like, okay, well go emerald. If you go emerald, then you'll be good enough. Then you'll be good enough to be able to slide into people's DMs and not feel weird. No, I went emerald. I was still nervous. I was still scared. I went diamond. I was still nervous. I was still scared. Went double, still nervous, still scared. Went triple, still nervous, still scared. Okay. So, and the thing I want to get across to you guys is most of my most of my distributors come from things that have absolutely nothing to do with the bonuses that I've earned or the rank that I'm at. Nothing. I get the most messages I get is when I share my grocery cart and I talk about being able to buy the food that I want to buy, and not the food that I can only afford. Or when I talk about filling up my gas tank. Those are the 2 things. And honestly, buying groceries, you can sell, 3 samples of our coffee and pick up your grocery tab. Doesn't matter your rank. You could fill up your gas tank with 3 wrap samples or 3 wrap sales. Doesn't matter your rank. So I feel that was something that I told myself for a really long time, and I let hinder me for so long. And I do not want you guys to do it, because nobody knows what the hell a diamond is. Okay. Nobody knows what an emerald is. No one. My mom does it. My mom, like, she knows, but she has no clue. Like, she has absolutely no clue. And she'll say, like, I'm so proud of you for doing triple. I'm like, okay, mom, but like nobody outside of us knows anything. So it doesn't matter. And most people are about $50 to $100 away from being able to be okay. Any rank can rack in an extra $50 to $100. You can show anybody how to make an extra $50 to $100 selling samples alone. Does not matter your rank. So I do not want that to hinder you guys like it hindered me for so long. And it's something that I tell my new distributors all the time, because it is so stupid. And I kick myself for wasting so much time thinking about stuff that doesn't even matter, that people don't even know about. Nobody knows that. No one watching your Instagram story knows what the hell a ruby is. But they do know that you just made $50 selling packets of coffee, and that would put gas in their tank to get them to work this week. They do know that you made, $50 selling 2 wraps, and that would pay their tab to their babysitter this week. Like, that's the stuff that matters. Anybody can talk about that. Anybody. You could, like Sarah talks a lot about her kids' hockey, being able to afford freaking uniforms, right? We bought my son a baseball bag. Holy crap, man. Like, this stuff's expensive. And, talking about how he sold $100 worth of coffee in one day and it got you X, Y, and Z. Like, that's the stuff that I want you guys to focus on. Who gives a crap about your rank? Who gives a crap if you haven't reached your promotion yet? Who gives a crap if you haven't earned, what are the bonuses now? They used to be called good bonuses. They're more bonuses, right? More bonuses. Yeah. Who gives a crap? Like, that stuff is amazing, but do not let that stuff stop you from going out and offering the opportunity every single day. And you guys, a lot of the time, I don't necessarily like talk about the opportunity. Like, I'll talk about like pumping gas and like being able to earn an extra $100 today or an extra $200 the past 2 weeks. And then you can just throw up a slide that talks a little bit briefly about what it is that you do as a distributor, and then just keep it going and keep it going and keep it going. But this is something that you guys have to make sure that you are bringing up and you are talking about frequently, because you guys know, like, I follow tons of people on social media, right? So like I can be off of social media for maybe like 7 hours and I could miss so many stories. So just because you posted an opportunity post yesterday doesn't mean that you have to, you shouldn't do another one today, because there's tons of people, life's busy, like not everybody's going to see all of your stories. Like, so you just have to make sure that you are offering that every single day, whether it's talking about it, whether it's posting stories, a quick opportunity, little blurb on your Facebook with a picture or whatever it may be.
So as you were talking, I was thinking of a few different things. So my first conference, I think her name was Julie Solomon was there. Do you guys remember that? And she talked about your avatar. And I just, as you were talking, I was thinking of that. And it's like, that's kind of what I'm going through right now, is branding myself. Like, I feel like I've been good at it, but like figuring out like what I am outside of the business, because nobody wants to see your salesy post, every single post, right? Like, you have to figure out what your niche is, and not everybody has to be your customer, and not everybody has to be your distributor. Like, you should be picky. Like, you don't have to just sign everybody because you found somebody. And I think in the beginning, I definitely just signed up whoever, because I just got so excited. But now I want a sustainable team, a team that I have fun with, that I enjoy being with, and want to keep helping them grow. So I think figuring out like, and then Rachel Wiggum, she has a really good, like a series on YouTube. There's like 8 different videos on like figuring out your avatar and like your core like customer. That one was really helpful for me. I don't know if any of you want to go watch that. I mean, that helped me kind of figure out like what my avatar was, and like what my, person looks like, and who am I trying to sell to? Because I think I get confused. I'm like, I don't know like who I am, or like what I want to share, and always be sharing on social media. So that's a big thing. And I think it's helped me become more confident figuring that out too. And then people see that and they connect to those things, rather than like they'll see the business post, but then they'll connect with like, oh, cute shirt, where'd you get that? Like, the little things we share about, that's what they like see, that they could be like a real friend of yours in real life. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I feel like that also makes them feel more comfortable, like messaging
Mhm.
you, talking to you. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, like the avatar, or like your core pillars, like there's a few different words for like that, but like it's like the people, who are you trying to talk to, or who are you trying to reach, who are you trying to market to? And so when it comes to like your core 4 or your pillars or your avatar, I always tell people like put something in your story, and just have something interactive, and be like, when you think of me, what are 3 things that you think of? Like when you think of Amy, what are 3 things that you think of? When you think of Sarah, what are 4 things that you think of? And just not only use that to boost your algorithm, but kind of like show you, because sometimes people are like, I have nothing. I have no pillars. There's nothing interesting about me. Like there's nothing. Because I remember too, when I first started, I'm like, I'm a freaking stay-at-home mom with 2 kids. Like sometimes I don't even get to brush my teeth in peace. Like what? There's absolutely nothing appealing about this. Like, I rarely get to take a shower without someone trying to open the shower door and get in there with me. Like my kids are crazy. I have 2 kids, 3 and under. It's a freaking madhouse in here. But I feel like when you ask that, you kind of get like a little glimpse into what other people see. And you're like, oh, dang, that seems so boring. Like people actually like, they like that, or like they,
Right.
they look at me like to get info about that, when it's like you could think that it was like something that wasn't even a big deal, or like something that people didn't even really notice.
Mhm.
Okay. Let's see. Where was I? I just want to make sure that I didn't miss anything. Okay. Okay, so then now Did you have anything else that you wanted to share, Riley? I feel like if you said that we should watch those videos from
Mm.
the Wiggum, we should watch them.
Yeah, I think it's like 8 different videos. I want to say like a series of them, like Becoming or something, I think it's called, on
Mhm.
her YouTube. And yeah, it really just helps you kind of like look inward and figure out like, okay, like that's who I want to share to. Like, yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, and I feel
And
like
don't
no, I'm sorry,
oh,
keep going.
and don't be afraid to like share the stuff that you think is weird. Like, I don't know. Yesterday I literally was helping my brother pull tin off a barn. And so I was like, okay, like I'm taking a video. I don't know how I'm going to use this yet, but I did when I got home. And I'm like, I took a little screenshot of a conversation I had with a customer who's going to order. And I put that on the video and I was like, okay, you guys, like I was not on my phone all day today. I literally just got home and now I'm placing a couple customer orders. This is how simple this business can be. I think, and just showing the simplicity of it and how you can put it into your life, even if you work full time or whatever.
Yeah. And like how you said, I just want to touch on something that you said, how you said like it causes you to look inward. You guys, this whole entire business is about the inward. Like everything that we are doing, everything that we are thinking, everything that we are, doing in our day is going to reflect. So like if we are doing nothing to grow our business, well, that's what's going to happen. Nothing, you're not going to have any customers, you're not going to have anybody messaging you, you're not going to have any of that. But if you are taking the time and looking inward and saying like, okay, well, I've only signed one customer, I need to sign 4 more. I've only signed one distributor, I need to sign 2 more. Looking inward and seeing, well, am I doing the things that I need to do to even be able to get 2 potentials, let alone 2 distributors? So look inward, look at the stuff that you're doing every single day. Are you finishing your task list? Are you sending out the 50 messages for host to post? And then the ones that do go up, are you messaging them about the opportunity? Like the things that we are doing behind the scenes. Me and Sarah talk a lot about this. Like on days where my social media is jank and there's like no post, there's like one story. Those are the days where I am the busiest. Those are the days where I probably haven't showered and I probably haven't left my office. My behind the scenes stuff is so much more important than my stuff in front. Like the stuff in front is like what lures them in. It's like, ooh, look at my coffee. It's all pretty. It's all cute. But like the behind the scenes stuff of messaging them and doing my host to post, getting those host to post up, offering the opportunity to those host to post, making your reels, getting dressed one day, even if it's just from the face up, putting on a sweater, cranking out 5 reels. Like those are the things that are going to grow your business. It's the stuff that you're doing behind the scenes that are so, so important. Like, and that's kind of like what I was talking about earlier. The months that I've enrolled those 27 distributors and the ones that I've enrolled 0, the only difference is what I did behind the scenes and what I was feeding myself. It was my mindset and my actions. That's it. And the amazing thing is that I was able to change my mindset and my actions, just like everybody else is able to change their mindset and their actions. It's nothing different. Like there's no reason why you can't be, the Amy that enrolled 5 distributors and not the Amy that enrolled 0. You know what I mean? Like every month we show up, eSuite's wiped, we have a brand new month. So it just takes deciding. And I know sometimes like Sarah have had this conversation before where I'm like, I am so sick and tired of myself that I like can't even look in the mirror because she's bugging the shit out of me. Like I am annoying myself with my own bullshit that doesn't matter. Like thinking that I'm not good enough to go pres, thinking, am I even able to carry a presidential team? Like, do I even have what it takes? I am so sick of that. And I posted in the comments, like when you said, like, I don't really remember how I enrolled my first distributor. I just like did it. That's ignorance on fire. And that is the best way to build this business. Is not really knowing how you're going to do it or what you're going to do. It's just like, okay, I don't really know how I'm going to do this. I don't really know how I'm going to fill all these boxes on this presidential chart, but damn, I'm willing to get started and just like start running and let's see what the hell happens. It's ignorance on fire. It doesn't matter if you don't know anything. When I knew the least, I felt like that's when I was like on fire. And I was like, I don't really know what the hell I'm doing. I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know that I'm excited. So as long as you're excited, like Riley said, like when you're in your stories and you're excited and you're like, I'm ripping off tin from my brother's shed, but just signed a few customers, like that's freaking amazing. And I haven't even been on social media all day. That excitement is what pulls people in because everybody's busy. Whether they're ripping tin off shed, changing diapers, working full time, like everybody is busy. Everybody has crap going on. So if you can show that you can do this business amongst all the crap, it makes people feel like they can do it too. So whether you didn't get dressed that day either, show up on your stories and talk about how it's a hot mess, but that you're still able to work this business even when your kids are freaking out. Even when whatever your day looks like. I feel like I've worked this business through so many stages. Olivia was 1, Anthony was 3.5. It was mass chaos, okay? All the time. I was always tired. I was single mom in it pretty much because Luis worked so much. It was mass chaos. And now obviously Anthony's in 7th grade, which is insane. And Olivia's in 4th grade. And I'm like, what the heck happened? But I've worked this business and I've evolved as we go, right? Like when you're in born stage, the way that you're going to work this business will be very different once the kids are older and they're a little bit more self-sufficient. But the thing is that if you can't get yourself on not a routine, but like with that mindset that you need of like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do this. That mindset has to stay the same throughout, because whether your kids are babies or whether they're older, you're always going to be busy. You're just not going to be busy chasing them in diapers. You're going to be busy shoveling them off to freaking baseball and football and hockey and all the crap, right? Like we're always going to be busy. You just have to make it a point to, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to fill out this Ruby chart and I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to start sending the messages. I'm going to make sure that I'm offering the opportunity to everybody that I talk to, even when it comes to they're just interested in the slimming gummies or they're just interested in the coffee or they just want a sample. You need to make sure that you are offering this opportunity, because I promise you, once you sign that first distributor, there's no reason why you can't sign 10 more. Once you sign those 10, there's no reason why you can't sign 40 more. Like if you can sign 1, you can sign 100. It's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. And then one thing for me, so me and Riley enroll our distributors very differently. Most of my distributors, like I said, are not customers. They've never really been customers, even like before Reels. They just, it was just random strangers. Like they had never really tried anything. It was just, I feel like I love our product. And I feel like you can see that when I'm talking about it. So I feel like people just believe me that they're going to like it too. Like when I tell them like, oh my gosh, this coffee is amazing, you are going to love it. They just believe me because it is amazing and they are going to love it. But my distributors now, that like the ones that I'm currently enrolling, are all coming from Reels. And I make sure that I have that or no, just kidding. If you don't have your influencer application filled out, I want you guys to do that today. It is so important. And I can't tell you, I share the opportunity the same way, but the fact that I have an influencer application to send people, I don't know why, I can get potential so much faster versus just saying like, just asking the questions versus sending them a form or a link and having them fill that out or linking it in my stories. No, I'm talking about the It Works one. I transferred mine over. Once we launched ours, I was on like the beta testing group. So like it helped me how to like fill it out, but it's actually not hard. It was harder to create the Google Doc than it was to fill out the It Works one, you guys. It is the best thing ever. Literally. And then it goes right to your freaking Connect app, you guys. It literally will go off and it'll say, you have a new lead. Congratulations. Contact blah, blah, blah. Like it is the best thing ever. If you do not have the It Works one filled out, fill it out. I literally just copied it and then pasted it. So I copied my original one that I had in Google Docs and then I just pasted it in our It Works one. And that's the one that I use. And the good thing is that it's not flagged. So like you can send it through a message on Instagram. You can send it through a message on Facebook and it's not going to be flagged. It's just going to go right through like a normal message. But yeah, you guys have to have that influencer application filled out and then you have to start offering the opportunity. But Reels, I'm going to tell you, there's a reason why we keep talking about reels, is because they work, you guys. They work. Where's my, let me see. Let me tell you. From when I started to reel seriously, I'm going to tell you how many potential distributors I've gotten. And this is just from reels, okay? $20 in the month of June. $12 in the month of July. And this is just from reels. $21 in the month of August, and August isn't even over, you guys. And that's 3 months with just reels. So I know that it's scary, and I know that I feel like you guys have been in for a while, so you guys shouldn't be too scared about reels. Everybody on here, let me see, scrolling. Yeah, you guys should be golden when it comes to reels, but reels is just what's working right now. So I do not want you guys to not utilize it, because I don't even remember what that was, what, 40 something, 50 potential distributors just from reels. And if messaging is something that you're not the biggest fan of, and you do it, but I'm not the biggest fan of messaging, okay? I'm not. So if I can do something that can get people to come to me, you better believe I'm gonna freaking do it. If I can get them to, and that was kind of like my thing in the very beginning too. I was like, okay, well, I don't know how to talk to people, but if they ask me about our wrap, I'm golden. I can make them sign as a customer. If they ask me about the business, I'm golden. I can get them to sign as a distributor. And reels help you do that. They help them come to you, which is, I love that. Versus me having to message them. Don't get me wrong, I love host post. I do host post on my Facebook, but for Instagram, it's reels all the way. And they don't even have, like we talked about in our Instagram training, you guys, the average reel that blows up is 7 seconds long. That's nothing. And Instagram allows you to use filters on reels. So like, it doesn't matter what you look like. I know that was my thing too. Like, oh my gosh, I always have to be done up. Like, blah, 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 blah. No, you don't. You can put a filter on that sucker and it looks like you're dolled up from head to toe. Maybe not toe, but like you'll look dolled up, right? So reels is the one thing. Can we make our own discount code or not? When you say, can we make up our own discount code? What is, oh yeah, Vanessa, I'll be dulled up and I'll still use a filter because I love them and they're cute. Do you mean a discount code for getting people to sign as a distributor? Like if you purchased your conference ticket, if you purchased your conference ticket, you did get 50% off codes. So you should be able to have, I think it's 5 codes of 50% off. Yeah, exactly. Only what they give us. But if you think about it, the way that you market our loyal customer, right? They get 40% off from being a loyal customer. So that in itself is a discount. Like you'll hear a lot of us say like, I'll give you my 40% discount, or like looking for product testers, I need 3 more, you know, as a thank you, I'll give you my 40% off discount. So like you can market it different ways.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so what I was saying is like, okay, like with our own products. So with my products, I could do my own discount if I want to. Like basically with new customers, I was gonna do like make drinks, like healthy drinks, and like new customers, I was gonna do like 20% off the first new customers, and basically do it like that. But I see they don't give you options to do it online. So I was saying was I'm gonna basically have to do it in person only, right?
Right. So like you
Okay.
could do like samples, like for example, like anything that comes in
Right.
like an individual packet, you could sample it. And when it comes to like samples, I always charge them full price. if they want the discount, you can give them a discount. Like you could do like a 5% discount, 10% discount, 20% discount.
Right.
To get them in the door, like for coffee, for example, but I would never sell like 3 packets of coffee less than $20, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But yeah, you could totally do that. Or you could do like a 3-pack of, I don't know, collagen super reds and skinny tea. You know what I mean? Like you can make
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, you could totally do that.
And you guys, I think the other thing that I just want to add too is like when we talk about intention, I remember like sometimes you hear words and you're like, what does that mean? Right? You're like, that's so annoying that we hear it over and over and over again. But the truth is like every single month when you start out with your map, if you know what you need and then you break down like, okay, this is what I need to go diamond. And then you ask yourself, when I hit diamond and my check goes from this to this, where does that go? And what would that do for my family? That gives you meaning. But then what that also does is it gives you intention behind the action that you are going to put in every single day. And so I think that's the thing too, is like when they're talking about this, like their focus, like literally when I talked to Riley and Lisa, it just in conversation, right? Because we're just working, we're messaging each other, whatever it may be, bouncing things off. It's like their focus is distributors. So the thing is, they're focusing on that, knowing Lisa's like, I know I need distributors to go presidential. Riley's like, I'm ready. I'm ready to go double diamond. I know that I need distributors. And so the thing is that's their focus. So that's what they're bringing in. So it's in every area of your business for that. Like even when you think of who you want on your team as distributors, like go write 5 things that you're looking for in your new people that you would like to bring in. And you know what? If you're focusing on that and that's what you're coming in and you're reading every single morning, that's what you're going to go do. If you're like, you know what? I want to make $300 this month in samples, that's going to be at the forefront of your mind. So the thing is, as you're showing up for your business that day, you're going to be offering samples, right? Because in your mind, you're like, I'm going for $300 in samples. That's going to pay my kids, you know, whatever it may be, or maybe it pays for groceries or whatever it is. But you have to remember, like, intention means like, what do you truly want? You know what I'm saying? Writing that down and knowing going into every single day, if it's bullet points, you guys, it takes 2 seconds to read that. But that's where your focus will be. You're not going to fall short on it because you're focusing on it. So I think that's the other thing too, is like when we talk intention, you know, it's like if you know what you're needing, that's where your focus is, and you steer where you're staring, right? Over and over and over again. So I always really like when we say certain things like that, like intention and building your business with this and that. The thing is that allows you to also use your time wisely. And so that's the thing. Like I don't want to show up for my business and be like, I don't really know what to do today. No, I know what I'm doing. I'm like, I know that I'm going to do reels. I know that I'm going to show up in my stories. I know that I want to offer samples because I'm selling samples, knowing like I can follow up with those people and it's going to get me my loyal customers, right? But outside of that, I truly know. And like Lisa was saying, the thing with distributors, you guys, that is so important. First of all, you don't have to know everything about everything. They're going to ask you questions that you don't know, which means you're going to learn together. And honestly, it's 10 times more fun. Like I signed up people and I wasn't even a rank yet. We all did, right? Everybody has done that. And so you have to remember, like on top of that, but it's more fun because their goals become your goals. And I always say, like, if you know that you're willing to kind of sell yourself short, or you're like, well, I do love my life, you know, like, and you keep settling, you know, what's going to change that is bringing people in and actually knowing what $300 will do for their life. And you know what's going to happen as you help those people hit $300 for their life, you're all of a sudden going to look back and be like, I'm making $3,000 a month. And that's how it happens. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you also know in your mind, like, yeah, I have been settling and I do like the extra $200 and I do like this or that, and you've been okay, and no matter how many times you've refocused, it like you always go back to the same thing. You have to get those new people in and you need to know what their goals are, right? So that you can have something that's going to drive you and you have something to celebrate. And I'm telling you, within doing that, you will see your business grow. So those are some things too, that like when she was talking about some of that stuff and what Riley's sharing, like, remember your results are going to come where your focus is. So you guys, like, just know the other thing is like Lisa and I were talking about, so many times, especially with the LC bonus, which is so stinking cool. But like, not only use that for yourself with the $100 bonus to earn yourself weekly paydays, you guys, you should be freaking screaming that to the top of your lungs to your potentials, right? To be like, you know what? And I know that this is your goal, but would you be willing to follow along with me so I could teach you how to make this just even in weekly bonuses? Knowing like your commission check's going to be extra, sister. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so understanding that, but also knowing you guys, you can go get 20 customers or you can sign 5 people and in the midst of getting no's, switch them to be like, girl, sample, try the products for a few months, see what you think. I promise you, your mind will probably change. You'll realize like so many people want these different products or want their coffee to do this or the difference it makes. So while you're getting no's, you can also turn those into loyal customers. But I'm telling you, if you have 5 people amongst yourself going for 5 loyal customers, you guys, that's 25 LCs in a week. You're like, I can't do that in a week. You know what? There's a lot of things you're not meant to do by yourself. This business is one of them. Okay, so we're not telling you to go sign 25 LCs in a week. If you do, freaking A, you're amazing. That's great. But are you going to probably be able to do that, every single week? Probably not. Like you might have a week where you're like, dang, I've been blown up post, whatever. But the thing is that your team can bring in 25 LCs, right? So this business is meant to do with other people. And there's a reason for that. Okay. There's a reason. Not only is it 10 times more fun to do that, but you really truly do get to learn together. And together you are so much more capable of so much more. So when you hear people talking about more this, more that, you guys, that's not selfish. That's not being unhappy. That's not any of those things. That's not what more means. It's not like, oh, work your butt off all day long and not enjoy life. Nope, not that either. Right? It's like, no, Pam, you know what you're going for. Lisa, you know what you're going for. Vanessa, you know what you're going for. Chaz, you know what you're going for. Let's go do our thing and celebrate one another when we do it or come back to each other when we have a question. But I can tell you when we know those things, we are going to do a whole lot freaking more than if I was over here trying to do everything for everybody or do everything by myself. Okay. So that's just something I want to share as these girls were like really, and it's fun to hear, I think, behind the scenes. Cause it's like, I have so many conversations with so many of you and it's like, it's crazy. I mean, I literally watch when somebody makes a decision and what changes in their business. Right. And we always like call that like D-Day or, whatever. And it honestly truly is, you guys, it's just making a decision. And I just am going to be really honest with you. You will never regret deciding to put time into this business every single day. It will not steer you wrong. It just doesn't. Okay. So anyways, I just wanted to share that piece with you guys. When you hear intention, when you hear more, when you hear those things, those are not to like intimidate you or overwhelm you. It's honestly for you to understand the power behind those things and coming together and the power of breaking things down and bringing new life into your business because it will literally change everything. And so also know you can start with a slate of 200 distributors under you. It doesn't matter. Every day we're trying to get new people. Like we're trying to help new people. You know what I'm saying? So whether you have 200 or no, who cares? Literally, Pam, you are going to do the same thing as a ruby as you're going to do as a triple diamond. Like what I'm doing as somebody going for double ambassador is the same thing that somebody who's going ruby's doing. Like it's not different. So at the end of the day, you just have to decide, like, I don't care if I'm starting with 20 DTs. That's amazing. But guess what? I still want 20 more. And if you're starting with 0, you still want 20 more. I have 200. I still want 20 more people on our team in the next, however, you know what I'm saying? So, I wanted to break that down.
No, I love that. And, oh crap, I forgot what I was going to say. It was really good too. Damn it. What was I going to say? Oh, I know. D-Day. Another thing too is like, I feel like when someone is telling you, like, even with Sarah, like if I ask her a question, I'm trying to go presidential, right? She's been there, she's done that. So when she tells me to do this or to switch it up to this, I'm just going to do it. I'm like, okay, well, let's try it. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, no one is going to know more than a person that has already been there and a person that has already walked through that. So like one thing, I'm going to be very transparent with you guys right now. Like one thing that has hindered me so much going presidential is that I've had to completely change the way that I work my business. And it floored me for so long. And that's kind of where that came from, of me telling Sarah that I was just so annoyed with myself because I know what I have to do. It was just so different from how I got to triple. So like I went obviously distributor to triple in less than 2 years. And the way that I did that was attraction marketing. I would say there was probably one person that I asked to join this business, and everybody else joined, like asked me and joined me. And so then when Facebook and Instagram changed up their algorithm and no longer was that a thing, and it had to do with like you actually making sure that you are pleasing the algorithm gods to get your stuff to show up, I had no idea what to do. And I was paralyzed. And I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, oh my gosh, like, what do you mean I got to message people? I don't message people. Like, they always come to me. Like, what am I going to do? I do not want that to happen to you guys. And that's something that I was like, I'm done. Like, okay, I'm a brand new student again. Tell me what's working and I'm going to do that. People said reels. Okay, screw it. I'm gonna do reels. I'm gonna get my ring light. I'm gonna do all the shit. Like, I'm gonna do it. I'm so over the excuses. I'm so over the like, well, I don't know. I can't message people for host to post. If host to post is working, I'm doing host to post. Like I literally just went back to day one where it was like, okay, tell me what to do. I started watching all the YouTube videos again and just seeing what's working for people right now. Cause it doesn't matter what the hell worked back 7 years ago when I first started. That's not going to work for me right now. So I'm like, I threw that out the window and I just told Sarah, like, I'm done. I'm so done. I'm running for it. Like, I'm just going to do the things that are working now. And I'm going to stop being a big baby because I'm not going back to work. Like, it's not going to happen. I refuse. Me and Sarah were FaceTiming last night and we were just talking about paint and our house is falling apart and like constantly needing us to spend hundreds of dollars fixing crap over and over again. And we were just talking about how there is nothing else out there, you guys, nothing that can offer you the income and the freedom that this business offers. There's not. And Sarah's like, because if there was, I'd be doing it. Same. I would be doing it. It doesn't exist. It's not out there. This is it. And I'm not going anywhere. Like, I don't want to go anywhere. So it just comes down to making the decision. I know that I'm not going back to work. I don't even know if my back would be able to handle one day in a salon, you guys. It would probably snap. Like, I was laying on a heating pad earlier because I slept wrong. Like, I'm not going back to work. Nor I don't want to at all. I don't even think I could I could handle someone telling me what to do. I'd be like, excuse me? Like, what do you mean I only have 30-minute lunch break? Are you insane? Like, I'm just too spoiled with this business. But I decided I'm not going back, right? So then how insane would it be for me not to utilize the things that are in front of me and that people are telling me on these Zooms? They're telling me what's working. How insane would it be for me not to take those things and things that people are telling me and to go out and do it and to continue to grow my business? Like, I'm done with the pity party. And that was just like something that was like, that's like a little personal side of my story that I was just like, I didn't know what to do, right? Like and then there's going to be a time, you guys, that reels might not be it. You know what I mean? Host post might not be it. It might be something else. And I don't want you guys to get stuck the way that I got stuck. So if someone's saying that something's working, correction. If something's working for you right this second, you keep doing that. Like if you're enrolling your 10 customers a month, you're doing all the things, keep doing that. But if right now you're not enrolling customers and you're not enrolling distributors, talk to people who are and then do what they're telling you to do. And it will start to come. But it just takes getting uncomfortable and getting over yourself and getting over your pity party or whatever it is. I'm just speaking about myself, but like getting over the crap that you're telling yourself that you're not good enough. Or maybe you were just, what the hell's that word? You were what's the word I'm looking for? You're a one-hit wonder. That. Maybe stop telling yourself that you're a one-hit wonder. Like, I'm just thinking about the stuff that, my brain tells me sometimes. But like, I'm so over that. I'm so over all of that crap, because I listen to these stories on these Zooms and on our Sunday night call and all the things. And I hear these people who come from, you know, lives that I couldn't even imagine. And they've overcome all of that crap and they're now home full time, you know, paid off all their debt. And don't get me wrong, I'm so thankful for all of the things that God has been able to do through this business in my life, pay off my student loans, pay off all of our medical debt, our credit card debt. But I don't want to stop there. Like, I want that for every single person that joins me in this business. And so it takes showing up and getting uncomfortable and just getting yourself and realizing that if you don't want to do anything else, if this is your end goal and in 5 years you want to be done with your job, then it's going to take the time now, doing the things now, showing up to the Zoom, showing up to the calls, messaging for host to post, doing the reels, doing all the things, making your stories, offering the samples. It's going to take all those things, all of it. And it's a combination of everything. I wish it was just one thing that you had to do and then everything would fall into place. It's a little bit of everything. A little bit of everything, because that's what we need to grow our business, right? We need customers, we need distributors, we need all the things. Sarah said family call just started. But do you guys have any other questions or anything at all? Riley, thank you so much for hopping on with us tonight. We appreciate it so much, girlfriend, and I cannot wait to watch you go double diamond and beyond. Thanks, friend. Okay, let's hop off and go watch the family call, and we will see you guys soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.